Pledge of allegiance.
Well,
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
come on, Stevie. Get to Stevie.
You gonna make that kid mad, turning that show off.
Oh, well. He's got his
No
ear
fat
plugged
kid.
up.
One y'all like to be prayer?
That's you.
Well, open us up with a prayer.
Y'all stand and uncover. Father God, I want to thank you tonight, O Lord, for all the people gathered here. May this be a meeting where we can decide on things without any rancor, without any disagreements. Lord, bring a blessing to this place. In Yeshua's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Reading of the minutes?
Okay, now, remember, it's been a while since we had our last meeting, so a lot of this is from back in November. The monthly meeting of the Waco Eagles Motorcycle Club, opened by President Jeff Gilbert, with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America on Tuesday, November 26, 2019 at Paparolos Pizza. Minutes were read by Secretary Chris McCourt and approved. Next, Ross Oval, Treasurer, gave the Treasury report as follows. MX Race Money's total deposit was $1,030 even. Total expenses was $1,520.88. Balance of monies checking is $10,072 even. Maintenance is $218.12. Money market is $14,345.99 for a total of $24,636.11. On the old business, discussion was setting up the plans were coming together for the play day. Jeff went on that the grant has been signed and notice to proceed. Under new business, the election results, the president is Eric, vice president is Andrew, secretary is Chrissy, me, treasury is Emma, and race director is Jesse, and e-board was Joseph, Joel, Jeff, Ross, and Sylvia was nominated in November. The officers will be effective January 1st. Discussion broke out about Beta USA. They contacted us about a demo day, approximately 15 riders. On February 29th, a one-day event. They will rent our facility and provide insurance. They will bring their own equipment. They will have two sessions, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. Jeff suggested we close the facility while the event is ongoing. Emma said that they wanted to plan several events throughout the year. Beta is not a market for MX, but they would like to bring their own group of people in. They suggest possibly $350 to rent the facility. Jeff thinks that $500 would be fair to charge them. Melissa will talk with the CMA to see if they can come out and do concession stand. Jeff said that on the grant we were required to put up a 4x8 board sign provided by TP Texas Parks and Wildlife by any projects as well as a permanent. Jeff suggested a pump, paying for the pump and then doing a deck or a stage as far as the first project goes. The stage, we can extend it out a little bit by little bit. Jeff suggested we get a culvert to fix the drainage for erosion control. Joe said that, he's got a dirt guy ready to go. He said we'll do a great job. Texas Parks and Wildlife grant online, all the information, requirements, etc. Jeff said our portion of the 20% can be donated professional services, forced labor, volunteer at $21.35 an hour. Has to pertain to that project. Does not cover the maintenance. Jeff also said that Erica is the person who is helping with the grant. 20% covered and offset with free labor. Reimbursement will turn. We turn the paperwork in about 3 weeks or so to be approved. We still have to write a check for service. We may apply for a loan and may need several members to sign for it, or officers. Jeff would like to have it paid off before the first payment is due out of the club funds. Clay said that could take up to 45 days to get completed. Ross suggested using the deed for Colorado for a loan, so it's not on the members. Further discussion broke out about the infrastructure, water lines, blueprints, engineers, plans, etc. It's got to be presented. They want to do a dummy project, starting with the stage, to kind of see how this is going to play out, paperwork-wise. The projects must have continuous updates, pictures, etc. Erica said we use labor to offset the 20% working with the vendors. Andrew said do not put a discount on any paperwork. We must have it say donate instead. As long as we do everything that we're supposed to do and everything, we should be all right. Make sure all the paperwork is in. Erica is helping guide, make sure the right steps are being taken. And Jeff said that we have to spend it. If we don't sign it, we won't get the opportunity ever again. Only they are concerned is that we cannot lease to own, but possibility still to rent. Benny was asking about corporate sponsors. Clay suggested having Home Equipment Depot do some donations. Benny was also suggesting looking out for sponsorships and to get signage up. Jeff said we need a new website. The server is in his bedroom, and he still needs to work on that. Benny said that Starplex Propane has a truck they no longer can use. He will see if he can get it and how much. Jeff said basically the whole facility needs upkeep. Donations are tax deductible for business that is willing to donate. Benny said at where his wife works, he can get equipment anytime. Jeff added that it's got to fall under an acceptable timeline. Still more to learn and understand when he signed it and the clock started. Emma said that the flat track is coming together for 2020. We got several dates picked out, April 18th and 19th, May 9th and 10th, and September 19th and 20th. I know a lot of those will probably fall on our regular MX races, which we will reschedule those as they come up. Jake with what used to be VDTRA, which is now Extreme Flat Track, he wants to do some ride schools and possibly some more prep ride days throughout the year. Clay suggested that the E-board and officers need to sit down and figure out how, the paperwork and grant, et cetera, all that will be handled. He suggests a special committee and outsourcing sponsors to handle, the paperwork process. Jeff says it has to be planned out and people to carry out the task. And it's a process, and it's gonna take all of us to make sure everything's done right. As far as the track goes, we have to tear down and rebuild. We can't maintain it. It's gotta be completely new. Benny was wanting to know who can do the advertising on the fence as far as painting. Andrew just suggested, chain link fence with plywood for the flat track barrier. Benny suggested water barrier fencing and pack barrels bolted together will last a long time. Jeff bought a tip for the auger, drilled 19 to 20 holes, used a skidster to speed up the process. Andrew wants to thank Jeff and Ross for their years of service, as all of us do. Benny wants to see more cross-country events throughout the year. Andrew added that it would be less prep and less people to work it. And no further business was discussed, and Jeff asked for adjournment of the meeting, and seconded by Joel and Eric.
Sorry, that was long.
Sorry, that was long.
We had no races in December, January. We had plenty in December. Memberships, there was 975 deposited. Expenses were H&H Water for $45.22, Minnesota Electric $279.23. Trashbilling.com, which is our new trash service, $101.41. T-Mobile $56.86. Fuel expense $115. Bank fees $30, for a total of $627.72. We did, because we did not have a meeting in December, just so we have it on record, there were some big expenses. They came out in the month of December. We did pay the taxes. That was $35.48.60. McCoy's for $33.76.81. Pump for the water charge was $25.43.88. Current balances and checking are $833.48. Maintenance $93.75. Money market $11,402.09. And for a total of $12,329.32.
So what really hit us was the thing, was that all those big expenses that we had.
In the month of December.
So we went into taxes was almost $4,000.
Taxes are awful now.
Yeah, but you didn't bring any of those worker forms, did you?
We need to approve the minutes and the treasurer's report.
When you do volunteers, I don't want to interrupt, but when you do volunteers out there, there's a form that, TPW has, you have to keep track of the hours worked, who worked it, the hours, and they sign off for it. Not for anything that they're gonna come back on that person for, but just for accountability. And, so when we were all out there working on that platform shelter, low board, the floor for the shelter, we need to initial or sign, and then, the supervisor in charge, which I guess would be you, Eric, will sign off saying that, this is accurate. So, anyway, I forgot to bring it, I found a little plastic folding clipboard that was covered, that I thought would be pretty good, just
To keep it in.
keep out there and have the forms in it, so, cause we'll forget, we need to keep up with it. So.
All
I yield the rest of my time to.
That takes care of that. That's good, that's good. So,
Yeah, I think so too.
are those forms, things that we can make a lot of copies of?
Yeah, we can make copies or we can download them and, I tell you what.
I can make copies and distribute them to a certain select few.
Well, we can do that, or, if we wanna create a Dropbox account for Waco Eagles, upload them, so, because not everybody, you don't want everybody on that takes part of my life, log in. You can download them without it being hard to find, but if like the workers, volunteer forums and stuff like that, if you put them on a Dropbox or.
Either or, you can just send me a
Yeah.
PDF file and I can find them.
They should, I think,
I haven't,
yeah,
I played
I-
around some on the side, I'm scared to go too.
yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff, and I do have some stuff on Dropbox already, but I'll get with you on that.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
sorry to interrupt.
You didn't yield your time.
I yielded again.
Old business?
Did you say old business?
Old business.
Well,
That's
that's
you.
new business from our last meeting?
Yes, sir.
Let me get this crouton chewed up. Couple questions, cause I wasn't here when all this developed, like, before we built the stage, and that money is, how that's allocated, we spent that in 2019? Does that have anything to do with 2020 and the grant?
Yeah.
Okay, we have is it what we're gonna call complete right now?
No,
No.
So
we still gotta.
we have to complete it before we turn this stuff in, right?
Correct.
It needs to be a completed project.
Yeah, now
part of
here's,
documentation?
yeah, and here's what I'm thinking, it may not fly, but, Erica told me it's all how things are worded,
Right.
you know, so.
Well, we got somebody to help us with that, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, so what I'm thinking, phase one.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what I put, because I did go ahead and file the quarterly report. with-
Well, my next question would be, do we have a plan on completing that yet?
Yeah, cause we probably needs
volunteers?
to be
Because-
written out.
Correct.
We're
I
still
will
gonna
get,
put a ramp on it, right? On one side?
correct, I will get with, what I will do is I will break it down into phases. And, Kevin has been so gracious to donate numerous hours, Jeff too, and a few of us others, into building this. And so what I'll do is I will get with them and see what a feasible phase they think we should go with this, and then I will break it down into different phases. And then, as of right now, we can call phase one complete. As soon as I get a hold of Erica, I have some calls into her and some emails. As soon as I get a hold of her, I will ask her to help me. She wanted us to get with her before we did our first reimbursement filing, so she could help us word this correctly. And so we have two in standing. We have phase one of the shelter that we can probably file on right now. And then we have the water pump. And so I'm waiting on a return call from her to get those reimbursements.
And another thing
We also
too
need a
is
labor
with the deck part out there. We should.
The shelter?
The shelter, the floor for the shelter. It's a tall shelter. We should be able to get 100% of what we spent on that back, because we have the man hours to cover the 20%. So, and this was kind of a test.
Well, do we have a target? Like I said, I wasn't here when all that came in. Do we have a target to get that thing wrapped up?
I would assume it would
Have
probably.
we already bought all the materials for a completed job, or just the materials for phase one?
We've just materials for phase one.
Yeah.
And we have some stuff left over from that?
We do.
have rain days.
There is some
Always got rain days.
It's underneath.
Next thing,
We watered down the cement so it wouldn't blow away.
Like I said, I need to get with like Kevin and Jeff and Eric and see what everybody's schedules are, so I can get a projected end date on that project.
Cause that's
Does that
gonna be
make
our
sense?
learning tool as to getting reimbursed. this
Correct.
first- this
Well, I
platform.
also have the water pump too, so I can submit either or first, because they
How
may
about-
let us submit phase one and get reimbursed on that, so we can complete phase
Then
two.
you start.
And then, but I also have the water pump ready to be submitted.
Jeff, do you Do you think that we can recover, installation costs on that pump?
I would think so, if they'll cover the pump, that's a concern I have.
I mean, we may can get by with,
Well,
saying dust control, I mean,
And when I originally applied for the grant and the request for the water truck and all that stuff was for dust and erosion control, that was a big thing in there. And I'll tell you what, if they don't cover it, there may be a way that we can incorporate it into something else. It doesn't, and I'll be perfectly clear on this, they tell me this grant is not for repair or maintenance of a facility. It's
New
to-
construction and upgrades, correct?
You got it,
Well,
pretty
you
much,
have to
yeah,
track the track, so you have to water it.
yeah.
Cause that's got nothing to do with dirt.
That's
Oh,
it.
well,
If
how
you're-
you
That's
work.
got nothing to do with dirt, dirt's
That's-
considered track maintenance.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's
How you
not,
word it.
we can't call it track maintenance, you know.
No, it's an
'cause
up-
they won't-
We bought
It's
in
an
a couple of
upgrade.
dozers and tore it all up and redid it.
Well, if that's the case, I got a lot of man hours on that loop.
Construction,
We gotta go through
They
it.
bunch.
That we can get
They
paid
hold
100% for that, right?
well,
If
80%,
that's it.
yeah, 80% of our total cost.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying, no.
Cash cost.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
lot of man hours.
It is, that's right.
On the tank from StarTex, do we have the means to move that tank from one truck to another? It would first have to be removed in StarTex's yard,
I'll talk about that here in just a minute,
Okay.
I've got some ideas on that.
because if I go over there and I start nagging on him, and he says, yeah, he's ready to get that burned up truck out of the yard, and we've got no way to get up there and get it removed, and the manpower and a piece of equipment. I can get a piece of equipment from right down the street in my wife's office if I gotta drive it down the street and use it and then take it back.
Yeah.
A boom truck or something, but transport something like that, and then we'd have to get it somewhere, and we'd have to have the means to lift it again, remove our tank and put that one on there, and then someone that knows how to weld plumbing fittings from a propane rig to a water rig and put all the pumping stuff, where you're looking at some time and some more time and money, it ain't gonna be free.
I've got
I
some,
mean, it's,
I've got some things I'll talk to here in a minute that I wanna give a try.
So we back on old business.
Old business. Any more old business?
It's gonna be air conditioning.
They're gonna be sunburned before they get there.
Is that covered under new business then?
It'll
This new
never happen.
construction?
No, because it
No, that
was
was-
voted on a long time ago.
It'll never happen in our lifetime.
No business?
Don't say that. I plan to live a
so
little.
we had a blueprint, we had to have design drawn up for that stage, and all that stuff's been documented too, don't we have to have everything,
I wasn't.
like you say, from A to B all on paper before we started construction? I didn't catch all that last month when you were
Yeah,
talking about it.
it's all a play on words, man. It depends on the cost, a lot of it too. It's like, if it's over $8,000 for this, if it's over 15,000 for this, on certain things, there has to be structurally sound, proven by engineering designs, blueprints, and all that stuff. So there's a lot that, there's ways around it, I know there is.
But you're calling it a shelter, right?
Yeah, a pavilion won't work,
Right.
but a shelter will, and the shelter is right, you know,
Out of the sun.
out of the sun.
Thing about it is, every vibe that I've gotten from these guys, whenever I've talked to them, the state has to use the money. It's already been allotted to us, and they're gonna do everything in their power to make sure that we get whatever we ask for.
Yeah,
It just
they,
has to be
they
absolutely
want it,
correct.
they want it to work, they were adamant, man, I mean, it's imperative to them that they help us make this work. And it's their job to make sure that it does. So, and I'd like to say, if we can get with Erica and she can help us.
she is very hard to reach, by the way.
Yes, she is, she is very hard to reach, but she will eventually call you.
Do you have a phone number that you use?
I have a couple phone numbers.
Will you give me them so I can see, compare it to the one I have? We can do it
I don't know if
afterwards.
I've got it with me.
Just text them to me.
I will. I'll look and see if I got it.
Real wrong.
Yes.
He tried to, but then we went back to old business. It's normal. That's how it works.
Why don't you say, is there any,
Nobody be old business, but
Any new old business.
Chrissy talks quiet, and I'm deaf.
What?
Bring you a PA next time, by the way, I don't want nobody.
do I need a
to say-
microphone? With a little speaker on the side of my pocket?
I'll roll it in here and set it right there, and I won't be going like this. Equipment, you say, I thought I heard you say we cannot rent to own,
Cannot rent those.
2154.
But we can lease.
that makes it a little tough.
Now,
Yeah.
But you're gonna talk some more about that, right?
Now, if we found a place to rent a piece of equipment, and after our rental agreement was up, I'm sure that we could work out a deal on the side of that, on the outside of that. to
It's gotta be on the,
purchase it.
it's gotta be on the, can't be on the paperwork.
Right. It would have to be, if you work it out, it'd have to be, hey, we're gonna rent this for 2 years. At the end of that, what would you sell it to me for, cash?
Well, we're gonna have to be in rules like that in order, because with our budget,
It's not really been
$20,000 for the piece of equipment that we need.
Yeah, here's the thing, here's what you wanna check. They are sticklers for reasonable cost. So if it costs, if you got $100,000 piece of equipment and you're gonna lease it, for 2 years, your payment's gonna be $10,000 a month, you know?
You have to cover.
And they may say, no, reasonable cost is $480, you know, or
Right.
so that's what you gotta, that's what you're gonna have to follow, I'm sure, within those guidelines.
I think the biggest thing as far as equipment rental, that way we don't have to have maintenance or anything to do on it, we get to rent it on an as-is basis.
Well, we're trying to get Equipment Depot to do an exchange for us, equipment for advertisement.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to try and get them to sponsor at least 2 races in 2020. One in the spring and then maybe another one in late summer or something like that. They just got done with their expo, and hopefully I can get in with the marketing. My wife's in Houston, so she can't help me on anything. I need to ask her about it. But before the week is over with, by the time we have our first event, I'll have a few answers to some of the Equipment Depot stuff. I'm sure he's gonna want to come out. So, I'd like for him to come out on a race weekend. And hopefully this being an opening weekend, we'll have a really good turnout both days, and it would, you know, kind of, the people all have kind of money in the marketing experience, they wanna see a lot of bodies, just like they just put the expo on there down the street. I mean, that was a pretty big deal for Equipment Depot. I don't know what kind of coin they dropped over there to do that, but I'm sure it was a tiny sum. We just want a little piece of that kind of pie. If we could get a little piece of that kind of pie from someone right here in town, I just kind of think that's the kind of support that we need to buy $30,000, $50,000, $50,000. Get some stuff.
Is it Stevie?
New business?
Me.
No!
I'm not through yet. I promise next month I won't say.
I'm gonna come to that meeting.
Yeah. I forwarded over the webpage to our Facebook account. I need to get, I don't think I've given you the passwords to GoDaddy yet.
Yeah,
Did I?
yeah, but I don't think I can get it.
Oh, yeah, it's tricky, but, so, I've taken the server down, so I needed to move it anyway, and it's severely outdated. If somebody wants to make a web page,
We can
that's
do it
great.
through GoDaddy.
You can host it there, you can host it on a.
It's really cheap to do it through GoDaddy.
It's really cheap, or if you want a PC, I've got the one, it's got Fedora Core 12 on it, Red Hat on it, so everybody's familiar with Linux, but just saying. So I forwarded that over, so Facebook is right now your webpage. I've given Emma all the passwords, logins, and I can't think of what else. If you think of something, let me know. I know, I've always told people that the phone is the gospel, the recorder is the gospel, whether the track's open or closed or not, because some people don't want to get on the internet to look and see. I know the phone never gets updated, so. If, you got the password for it?
I've got it.
Yeah, so, let's see, what else? Is the fence still down in the front? It's been down for about a month.
You talking about the
To the
black
left-
track fence?
No, the fence to the left of the gate.
Yeah,
Front gate.
it's still broke.
Yeah.
Is it the metal gate that's there?
Barbed wire.
It's, the wire's been cut, and then, I'll put the, that metal thing up there and tied it up there
I'll,
a few years ago, and it's down. again
I'll
now.
bring some barbed wire and some,
There's some barbed wire out there, but it's pretty rusty, and you cut yourself.
I got a bunch
I've
of
got
T-posts.
barbed wire and I've got the puller, I've got it all, so I can get out there and fix it this summer too.
Okay.
You know, if you want some help, let me know when you're gonna do it, so you let me know ahead of time. Okay?
I've got a 15-year-old going on 21.
Okay. Okay.
There's one out there.
That's right.
They got
That's
good
the
exercise.
18-year-old right there. This is
That's
me
good
tying the wire.
Let me tell you, that 15-year-old right there can throw some T-posts. He did 42 in 1 hour.
Ooh, I must have.
My dad was
Good
floored.
elbow grease hanging down.
He wasn't in Waco Eagles dirt though.
No.
But,
No,
yeah,
he
he
was
goes
in
a horn
our-
out there.
he was in our pasture. He was out
Have I, you got everything you need from me, I guess.
What was your first quote?
For right now.
Yeah, for right now, I think so.
Don't go nowhere. I got the.
Don't go
We got, the next big race is, gonna be the 15th, right, in February?
No.
8th and 9th.
8th and 9th.
Flat track.
No, I mean, I'm talking about,
You're behind the times.
MX.
This
That's the next race coming.
8th
No,
and
it's
9th.
the
8th and
9th.
9th of
We moved
February.
it from February
Okay.
we moved it in February
From
to
the
8th and 9th.
Okay.
Is that, which race is that?
The, cross country and motocross. It's a double header.
Okay.
It's the 8th, the cross country will be on the 8th and the motocross will be on the 9th.
Fix that, I'm glad I asked.
Now, if we have a good turnout,
We have 5.
this is new business now, right?
It's the 5.
We're gonna try to continue this every other month and have a finale at the play day next year.
Absolutely.
I would
Everybody
think
that
so.
made every event, some sort of award, something.
Something that takes that much minimal prep time.
Lauren has a
Right.
question.
Randy's date?
Andrew.
If it makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
Joe and I'll get it ready.
No, it's ready, 99% of it. All you gotta do is mark it inside that.
Yes, sir.
CMA will not be able to be there on the 8th.
On the 8th, okay.
We have a major CMA event, the 7th and the 8th here in Waco.
Can't you cancel it?
No. She said no.
We can't be there. Now, we can be there on the 9th.
Okay.
Two places at one time.
People like to say.
This is the one time when you call
And
it.
that's something that we as a club, we can get waters and stuff for if need be, for people to get or whatever. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. We can work around that one way or the other.
We'll miss you though.
Yes, definitely.
I'm gonna bring home food.
I'm gonna bring a lot ball for you.
Oh, really? Okay, good
I
deal.
missed that.
We're gonna see if we can get a crew out there on the 9th.
Well, my mom, she's told me before if we've ever needed volunteers out there for any kind of concession work or anything, to let her know ahead of time. She would be more than probably happy to help. I can get her to check her schedule and so she's off on the 8th. And, like I said, she used to do it out at the HOT Speedway for years, so she's pretty quick at it. And, I've got little ones that can help volunteer too.
Yeah.
So,
We got the help.
Man,
We
the concession
just need to have
stand is
our
easy.
meeting to talk about it.
okay, yeah, I'll
I got teenagers.
actually text her and see here in just a minute and let you know. If y'all would like an extra volunteer to kind of help out with that, then she would know.
Melissa, if you'll just let them know to let me know whenever they come in the gate if they're with y'all.
It's a
Yes, tell them coming, cause all they have to do is push in.
Hey, mentioning that, Saturday morning, somebody's
Yeah.
gonna have to be there early. Real early.
I know.
Cause some of these people, no, I'm talking early. Trust
Just a
me.
block away.
6:30, not early enough?
No.
Well, here's the thing,
You
you
order the
gotta,
case, sir?
no, you gotta understand, they're coming from out of town, with
How
motor
early
homes.
do you need me there?
Are they gonna be there
I
Friday
would
night?
highly recommend that people are gonna get mad, leave the gate open Friday night. Trust me, they're not gonna screw you out of money. When they go sign up, they can pay right there. It's common sense. That's the best way to do it.
We can't catch the ones that have to pay to come in if they come in overnight. That's kind of another
They're gonna walk
problem.
up to the window, they gotta pay the race. I need my money.
Well, we still have to have their gate fees.
You get it right there. You
That's
get
what we
everything
did.
right there.
Us sitting in the tower, it's
We,
hard.
we
for
don't
us to
know most of these
our
people that are
business.
gonna be coming in.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
I'm just telling you what's gonna happen. You're gonna make people
Catch
mad.
22 on that deal, so.
Well, it's like I said, you can give them my contact number, they can contact me, I can go up there and meet them at the gate. That way they're not just coming in randomly, because we ain't gonna be able to keep up with
They can call
that.
me, I'm right down the street, I'll meet somebody down there and let them in the gate.
Yeah.
If I need to, I can be there earlier than 6:30. I just need somebody to let me know what time to be there, cause I was told 6:30. I don't mind getting there early.
Well, what time are the gates gonna open that Saturday morning? What time are they gonna
6:30.
start on
It
Saturday?
says 6:30. That's
Same as the
reasonable,
motocross
that's
track.
reasonable time anywhere else.
I think what Joe's alluding to is the people that are gonna drive in Friday night.
Thank you.
And stay the
Now,
night.
you gotta understand that. People are gonna leave Friday night and drive if they wanna
We
get in the
we just
gate.
need to put a time on there, be here before.
That's what
this
I
time.
already-
After this, like every other track does, at this time, the gate's locked, you gotta wait till morning.
Yeah, well, that's the way we did it at, motocross, for like Whitney and all that stuff. If you got there past 10 or 11 o'clock at night, you was out on the road.
Yeah, you were camping on the side of the road.
Unless-
Village Creek, Village Creek leaves their gates open till 11:30,
Yeah,
and then they lock up, so.
Freestone too.
And
I
they
think
all
Freestone
do at
does it.
some point.
Yeah, I put on there, be there
Yeah.
at
We'll
midnight,
be,
gates will be
we'll
locked.
be out there Friday
Yeah,
night. We'll
gates
just-
are locked
we'll
at
wing it.
midnight.
If
It's
it's
a
a
double
weekend like that, we're
Yeah,
always
yeah,
out
yeah.
the
Oh,
we
yeah.
got
Yeah,
firemen.
somebody's
Yeah,
there.
and that's what I was saying, is
Yeah.
that we'll all be
We'll wing it through
watching
this
up
one.
there.
We
It's
can
not
make it
gonna-
work.
We're not
We
gonna
can
be
make it.
flooded the whole time,
Yeah.
with people coming in. It's just gonna be here and
Yeah,
there.
we don't wanna hear flooded. That's a bad word. Don't say flooded.
No, that ain't till the morning, that ain't till the morning.
If you put on there that you lock the gates at midnight, they'll know, I'm there before midnight.
I tell you
or
what,
not
just show up at
anyway.
6:30, Jesse, I'll take care of it before then.
Okay.
Do we do it that way anymore? Well, that's fine.
Hang on, I'm in the middle of something. Well, sorry, I don't like being interrupted when I'm in the middle of something. It's just respect. And my kids get put on hold too. What's up?
That's a long time to sit.
Any more new
Do you have
business?
anything to ask for me?
Just sit by the gate, hold wide open.
This is fine. It's crazy, wasn't it? What an idiot.
Do you have a plan for
I couldn't tell where.
getting some guys together to get that water truck up and
So
going?
how are yours?
You do, okay.
So,
Ah, that's why I like you.
so, y'all done?
Who?
Side discussions.
Okay, so, he asked if we had a plan to, get the water truck together. Where we're at with the water truck right now, the pump is installed, we're minus a couple of fittings, getting that thing plumbed up. When we were installing the pump, the, pipe that Jeff had repaired, the actual pipe, the, gravity pipe that comes out of the tank had broken loose. Jeff had repaired it with this stuff, and it's broken loose again. What me and Eric were looking at and talking about last weekend is we're actually going to, I'm gonna get some flat steel and I'm gonna brace that pipe and weld it to the probably the tank framing. Either way, whatever.
That was my idea.
Anyway, we're gonna brace that pipe up.
Yeah.
That was my
I'm gonna coat it with this for now to get it to where it'll hold water.
Okay.
I've started a conversation with a place called, what's it called? Sorry. It's called Vernon Permabuilt out of, Amarillo. This company's sole business is making a